Your time though.
Yeah, I know. I'll be brief.
Let's be clear. It's a half hour between, doesn't mean you have to take the whole half hour.
Done this a few times. Yes.
Good morning. Good morning. Oh, is this my turn?
It's your turn.
Oh, thank you.
It's your moment to shine.
Good shine. My name, as I said, is Russell Gilfus, and I'm here today in strong support of Judge Omar Hernandez's nomination and reappointment to the Department of Industrial Accidents. I've been a friend and colleague of Judge Hernandez for 35 years. We began our legal career together at a small law firm representing injured employees before the DI throughout his tenure at the Department of Industrial Accidents. Adjudicating workers' compensation claims can be contentious. I've done many of them, and yet his judicial temperament reliably lowers the temperature and promotes a fair and reasoned outcomes. His ethics and integrity further distinguish him. I can recall numerous instances when, despite pressure on him as the insurer to deny a claim, Judge Hernandez pushed back and the claim was ultimately paid. These strengths have contributed to his advancement to senior judge, a role in which he continues to excel. His communication skills are evident in the many presentations, conferences, and workshops he holds, as well as in his effective leadership and management of his staff. Finally, Judge Hernandez's more than 30 years of service to the Commonwealth and his presence before this body today underscores his deep commitment to public service. So as a both colleague and a friend, I wholeheartedly and respectfully request Judge Omar Hernandez for reappointment to the Department of Industrial Accidents.
Thank you so much. Counselors, anyone have any questions for the witness? Now, I know the answer to this question is no, but is there anyone who wants to speak in opposition to this nomination? Of course not. Then, Judge Hernandez.
Good morning. I'd like to thank Governor Healy, Lieutenant Governor Driscoll, Governor's Legal, body, my friends, colleagues, for all your support, and I hope they will gain your support and vote today. As Russ mentioned, I've been a committed public servant basically my entire career. It's something that it just brings me joy to serve. I know it's a privilege to serve, and I take that seriously. I took it when we worked together representing agencies. Then when I became Deputy General Counsel at HRD, doing civil service, labor and employment law, and then took it as an administrative judge and ultimately as senior judge. And taking all that experience and knowing what works in our system. And one of the things my goal and my mission, I guess, throughout my tenure as senior judge for the last 14 years now, like a long time, was our commitment to the public, but to be one of the best systems in the country, not to be the best agency in Massachusetts. No, that's I want to set a high bar, and I always want DI, the workers' comp system of Massachusetts, to be a leader in this country and not be a follower. Starting with the opiate program I established years ago during the pandemic, we transitioned to virtual because we couldn't shut down. A lot of the courts did, we didn't. And I've introduced pre-hearing conferences, mediations, again, always looking to be proactive and never with this, you've got a problem. Oh, so we've always done it that way. That's not an answer. It's be creative and work obviously within the confines of the statute, regs, what have you, but doesn't mean we can't think literally like just progressively embrace technology. Technology is undefeated. It's not be scared of it. You used to use payphones. Now we have cell. It's some of the terms. Oh, we got to use paper. No, sorry, we're virtual now. We have to adopt. We have to adapt to the times. So I think again, it's not about me. It's about my staff. My staff works incredibly hard, and we're going through some tough times now, through some retirements, and we got a little labor shortage at work, but they're working 100%. And I do everything I can to put them in positions to succeed. I think that's what it takes as a leader. It's never been about me. And so I'm very humble to be here, and hopefully I get to serve for another 6 years as a public servant. So I'm welcome any questions.
Thank you very much. I won't reintroduce the counselors, but I feel that we would be remiss if at least one of us didn't point out Counselor Kennedy's sensational yellow shirt.
Yes, yes, that's fabulous.
Which is in no way to suggest that the sartorial choices of other counselors are not also outstanding. They are. Being silly today. Counselor Sewell. Oh, you're right, because, yeah, well, he did a whole other thing, but Counselor Ionella. No, I didn't.
Thank you. No questions. There's no one better than the senior judge, Omar Hernandez. What an outstanding job he's done. I think I voted for you, I don't know, 2 years ago. He was young. But no, he's accessible, he's hardworking, he's competent. I mean, I can go on and on and on. I think you've done a great job. And I just want you to know that as you know, I'm 100% in your corner. The Department of Industrial Accidents is better today because of your leadership.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor Ziegler.
Thank you, Judge Hernandez. Really great to meet you in person. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm so appreciative that you took the time to speak with me prior to today. It was a lovely conversation that we had. You know, one of the things we talked about was I asked you what your story was, and you shared with me your family story of, your parents living in Cuba and how, you just applied that grit that you learned from your parents and you put that in everything that you did. And I appreciate that. And I resonate with that, having, my parents immigrated from Haiti in the early 80s. And I share that with you. One of the questions I wanted to ask you today is, you have already created such a great impact on the courts. Several of the judges that I spoke with in the DIA cite you as someone that they would emulate, cite you as someone whose leadership is so powerful. And you've already made many changes, but what other changes do you see on the horizon should you be reappointed?
Right, there's one project that I've been working on for a while, and I know it's going to sound very deep in the weeds, but is putting their appeals online right now for the 11A exam. They have to send in a check. It's very labor intensive. Get the check, process it, copy it. It's very manual. So we're working with our accounts payable or finance at executive office, as well as internally, to create this system where we can attorneys can just go online and just pay like online payment. And it'd be so much easier, much more efficient, easier when it comes audit time to track stuff. But the problem is it's a lot of hard wiring behind the scenes. So we've got our IT involved to make sure that this transition, like I said, I vet everything 12 million times before we roll something out. So we're moving there. We're almost in the test environment, and hoping, I know I've been working this for a while, hoping by the end of this year, we can roll it out and just make the process even quicker and more efficient to get it through. So again, I'm always looking for improvement. How can we make it better? So that's probably my last project. Then who knows what comes after that, but that's what we're working on now.
I appreciate your attention to detail and your commitment to moving the courts forward. So thank you. I have no further questions.
Thank you. Counselor Kennedy?
Why are you looking at me like that?
No, I'm just matching your energy, just matching your energy.
Council Dolan called me this morning, by the way, said she met with you yesterday and how impressed she was with you. She said, this guy is great. You know? And of course, I'm just gonna point. I'm not gonna go through the whole thing again, no? You've been senior judge for 15 years. You started as senior judge the same time I started here. And I've gotten to know you pretty well over the years, because you seem to spend a lot of time up here. At least every nominee you come up with. But as senior judge for 15 years, do you ever get the feeling you're the principal of a middle school?
At times, yeah.
Sure.
Far more often than not, yes. I use my skill as a parent and I kind of blended in as senior judge.
There's no question that touching on something that Councilman I know said, you're the most accessible person I've ever met. You've always responded to any phone call I've made, certainly. And it seems to be the case with all the lawyers out there. When there's an issue, they go to you. And it says a lot that, and I don't mean this disrespectfully, nobody says Judge Hernandez, they all say Omar, okay?
I mean,
You talk to Omar. which says a lot about how you interact with people.
Absolutely. It's,
And I've enjoyed meeting you and spending time with you over the years, and I'm gonna vote for you.
appreciate it. Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Counselor DePaul.
What Counselor Kennedy said, and also just, you know, I don't take for granted that faith in our system is important, and we have a great system here in the Commonwealth that we should be proud of. Counselor Ianella, Doug Gooden Pollard, Mike Occasion, these are the folks I talk to. They all say you're great. I'm gonna say it about 3 more times.
Okay.
I look forward to supporting you. Keep up the great work. I know the bar is very grateful for your accessibility and your partnership.
Well, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Counselor Jacobs.
Thank you. I too had a really great conversation with you and I appreciate your time and I learned so much. I honestly don't really have questions because I very much, I've not only the conversation we had, but talking to your colleagues, hearing it reflected back, just reinforced just the work you're doing. But I did want to give you an opportunity to speak to one of the things we talked about that I think is worth highlighting just for elevating the issue. But the conversation we were having around the impact of what's going on the immigration side culturally and the dynamics that you're seeing play out with clients disappearing or not feeling safe to come. And I just wanted to give you an opportunity to speak to it, what's happening, but also what measures you might be able to put in place to try to counteract some where you can, some of what's going on.
Absolutely. Thank you. And people ask me that, you know, what do you see as the next big issue? At the DIA, we had the pandemic transition out of that, but what I'm seeing now is ICE, and it is, again, being first generation here. I'm very sensitive to what's happening out there, and it's just awful. We had probably, I'm going to guess, between 8 to 10 injured workers who have disappeared. Some have been deported. Some, the councils do not know where they are. And they're in the middle of their case. So right now, what I've instructed our judges, just put the case on hold. The case is not going to be dismissed. They haven't committed a crime or anything like that. They're just not there. Unfortunately, some insurers, and it's just a statute, they can schedule an IMA. If the employee doesn't show up, they can suspend benefits. They can't terminate, but it's basically the same thing. So it appalls me that that's what's happening. And what I'm afraid of as this becomes more and more, this situation becomes more awful, that anyone gets hurt, anyone's undocumented or their legal status is somewhat questionable, and they get hurt, sure is like, we just drop a dime and they disappear, they don't have to pay comp. And so I don't know how, there's nothing, as a neutral, we really can't interfere, we can't obstruct, we can observe, could probably tape, video. Thankfully, they haven't come down to the DI. Our offices are in Worcester, Lawrence, Fall River, Springfield, obviously Boston. I mean, these are all where the population of these populations are there. And I basically told I can't believe I had to have a meeting, but I had a general all-staff meeting with my judges, with my staff, in case ICE does show up. You know, what do we do? I know what I would do, and I'd probably get in big trouble, but I couldn't ask that of my staff. And so we basically we modeled after the trial courts. They have a whole memorandum on how to respond and how to deal with that situation. So I've incorporated that in the DIA. So again, we're trying to be as generous, give them time. The case is put in abeyance. We'll just hold it until hopefully the person returns. But it's something that it bothers me to the core, because we should be kind. These are human beings. These aren't just disposable parts of our economy. And so I'm very passionate about it. And just seeing it on TV obviously is disturbing, but seeing it in real life and getting those phone calls from my judges, another one, they don't know where he is. What do I do? There's nothing. You have to follow, obviously it's a neutral, to follow the law, but I do everything I can. So moving forward, if, we're a conciliation conference are virtual, so they're fine. Hearings have to be in person. If the employees council said, listen, my client feels uneasy about, we will transition to a virtual system because my job is to keep them safe. Obviously, due process on both sides, but we need to protect them, and that's the least I could do.
Thank you so much for that.
Sorry, went a little long there.
Counselor DePaul?
Follow-up?
Yes.
I just have a point of curiosity on what you were
Sure.
discussing. I want to make sure I understand it, and I know that we're talking relatively small number of incidents, but so if someone were to not show up at their hearing, the insurer can move to suspend, as you said, effectively ends benefits. So I just want to make sure I understand. So that would, what I'm inferring is that a worker is injured, is entitled to a hearing. Presumably, they are someone who have been, through their payroll, contributing to the comp system indirectly, right? So the insurer has, so their money has gone into the pool that the insurer is working off of. I'm no doubt betraying my ignorance, but where I'm getting at is, so the insurer will move to cut off benefits, obviously, as they're entitled to. But there's no front end making sure the people paying into the system.
So the employee doesn't really pay into the system. It's the employer pays a workers' comp premium, right, to the insurer. Even non-document workers in Massachusetts are covered by workers' comp. So you can have maybe some employers that may have some, I don't have to pay full value, get these people pay under the table, what have you. What I'm afraid of is a chilling effect that this will have, that if I am injured and my status, maybe I'm waiting for a permanent visa, whatever, wherever you are on that immigration status, you get injured. I don't want to put myself out there because now they know I'm on their radar and they can come and I'm not saying I can't prove it, right? Obviously, but they could stop a dime. Hey, got this worker. We don't have to pay comp. Move on. And that's what I'm saying, that they're not disposable parts. These human beings who are working hard. They did not ask to be injured, and now they're being taken advantage of almost twice. You know.
Yeah,
And
I wanted to make sure I understood that.
exactly. Yep.
Thank you.
I hope I answered that. Yeah.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Counselor Civil?
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Hernandez, on your reappointment. We had a conversation. Tara asked you the same question we spoke about last night, so I'm not gonna ask you any questions. But I want to say that I can tell that you're very passionate about the work that you have done. You've been working for more than 30 years. That's a lot.
No hair.
And one of the things that I like about my council that men is that I can go to them to help them educate me on a particular position or a department that a judge is working on. And I cannot express it enough. Counselor Ionella, this is his domain. And he's been able to guide me and educate me on the process of the DIA, and he's a great supporter of yours. I'm pretty sure you came before him when you were becoming a first judge, but this is the first time you're appearing in front of me. So I have no questions for you, but it based on our conversation, your experience, your resume, you're very highly qualified, and I'm looking forward to voting for you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Thank you so much. I absolutely loved our conversation. Counselor Kennedy was accurate. The things that I said about you, it's exactly what I said to him. I've heard great things about you from lots of people, and now I understand why. Thank you for talking in the hearing today about the issues that we talked about with ICE and what you're in a position to do. It is profoundly and fundamentally wrong that an immigration enforcement agency is being used in this way. So I thank you very much for protecting workers in Massachusetts as much as you can. I have no questions. I look forward to voting for you, and I thank you very much for all your service.
Thank you very much.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Because times don't change.
Okay, I tried.
A lot of the councilors, this is their first term, and a lot of them are not lawyers. And you're the expert. Could you briefly tell the folks here if an employer doesn't have insurance, okay, and explain the trust fund, because they're not gonna have any idea
Right.
what that's about.
So
I
if
think we'll help everybody.
Sure. So if employer does not, it's illegal not to carry workers' comp as an employer. So if we have a investigation team at the DIA, they will go down there, issue a stop work order. if someone's injured with an uninsured employee, there's a trust fund that steps in as the role as the insurer. The trust fund will try to seek compensation, reimbursement from the employer, but sometimes that's like getting, order from a stone. But they are covered. We average probably a little under 100 claims that are uninsured. So our investigation does a great job. I mean, throughout the state.
General counsel for the trust fund, he's kind of a pain in the neck.
Wonderful man. He was a wonderful man. No,
Big fan.
he speaks very highly of you. Yes. So we. Why do you always throw me off? So the trust fund, it takes the role as the insurer, and obviously treatment, everything else is covered by the trust fund. So.
I have a follow-up question.
Sure.
Who funds the trust fund?
So it's all the insurers they're assessed. There's an assessment rate, and that pool of money goes into the trust fund as well. So we have a budget, say like maybe 19 million, I think, maybe 8. They keep cutting it every year. But we try to keep the assessment rate. Obviously, that's good for business in Massachusetts. So that's why it's important to me. Get these. It's all related. The timelines are quicker. The costs are down. So business, because obviously insurers are going to pass on to business. So we want to keep that rate low and make attractive to do business here in Massachusetts. So that's how we're.
Very edifying hearing. One more question.
Sure.
Jacob.
Absolutely.
First off, Counselor Iannella was the first call I made, and he educated me on so many things. So I just want to say thank you for sharing your expertise and educating me on the issues surrounding workers' comp. But the other area that I'm just curious about is the vocational rehab aspect, and understanding how many people are availed of that service, and if there's any tension between insurers compensating for the injury in the original worker situation versus I'm almost thinking like, sometimes people who are getting governmental assistance, if they get a job, it pops them up out of an income level or whatever, and it can detract on their safety net financially. So I'm just curious if there's anything like that.
So when a case settles, the injured worker is entitled for 2 years vocational rehabilitation. At this point, the insurer, the employers have kind of closed their file. They want to move on, but the employee needs some retraining. Under Massachusetts, with respect to your injuries, those remain our lifetime. So as long as the cause is reason related to the injury. So that's kind of different than other states. Sometimes in other states, when you settle the case, that's it. Everything closes, your medical treatments, everything. Here, we have these services. So we have up to 2 years to make yourself available for vocational rehabilitation. Some people take advantage of it, others don't. I think at this point, the insurer, all right, we've moved on. It's not like that tension. That tension's already happened. The negotiations, the conciliation conference, arguing, pounding the table. Oh, this is all unfair. Okay, So at that point, everyone's just moved on to another case. So that tension is less there. And which we want to do. We want it. Workers' comp, it's a safety net. No one has to be injured. They just get injured, get treated, get better, move on with my life. It's just a temporary setback. So that's the kind of mindset we all work with down there.
Thank you for that.
A pleasure. Any further questions? None? The hearing is adjourned.
Thank you very much.
Show on the road. Thank you. All right, I'm gonna call this hearing to order. All right. Well, congratulations on your reappointment. I'm gonna read the letter that that has requested that we reappoint you. Dated January 7th, 2026 to the Executive Council. Dear counselors, I am pleased to nominate Thomas B. Daniels for reappointment to the position of Administrative Judge at the Department of Industrial Accidents to a 6-year term expiring November 6th, 2029. I submit this nomination for the advice and consent of the Executive Council and enclosing the nominee's resume for your convenience. Sincerely, Maura T. Healy, Governor. You brought today a witness, so I'm gonna call your witness up, Attorney Maureen from my home district of Western Mass.
Moran, from Pellegrini, Sealy, Ryan, and Blakesley.
Please share why you're in, I assume you're here in support.
I am here. Very much in support. I didn't prepare any written remarks, but I've known Tom for about 25 years. Believe it or not, I think we first met when our kids were playing soccer together. Then we briefly worked together way back when in ancient days at Travelers, and we've been friends. So I actually don't appear in front of Tom, but I have the benefit, as I said, I'm with Pellegrini, Sealy, Ryan, and Blakesley, and we have a large employee practice in Western Massachusetts, and I have the benefit of hearing from my colleagues at Pellegrini, Sealy about and I can tell you that the word glowing is appropriate on very much two specific issues. One is demeanor, judicial temperament. It's very important, and I'm practicing in this area, it's very important that the first and foremost, the injured worker and any other party who might be part of the proceedings get the respect that they deserve. And that is something that Tom does absolutely. His judicial temperament is absolutely wonderful. Secondarily to the injured worker and any other party are the lawyers. And what I hear from the lawyers who appear in front of Tom, and I know this personally, is that he's a pleasure, an absolute pleasure to be in front of. And that's important. We have a lot of right now, next week I appear in front of Judge Rose, but next week I think I have 8 conferences in front of Judge Rose, one after the other. And we'll be, he also is terrific, obviously. But there's a lot of back and forth, there's a lot of stress, there's a lot of, I'm getting my client into the virtual room, as you're well aware. And then another one's waiting in the wings and you're next to them and they're nervous. And the judicial temperament that comes out from a judge like Judge Daniels is very important in calming the injured worker and in getting the process to move smoothly. The second thing that I hear is fairness. And there's never a sense that anyone is getting a bad shake in there. And I will simply cross over a little bit because we understand the bar in workers' comp is very, very tight, very close knit. Some of my very dearest friends are at a large insurer firm in Boston. And I can say that even from that side of the fence, there is nothing but fairness that is discussed. And so I think those two things are exactly what a judge should be. And I speak specifically for Pellegrini, Sealy, Ryan, and Blakesley that we heartily support his renomination.
Thank you so much for that. Does anyone have questions for this witness? Yes, Councilor Anna.
No question, just a point, Jerry Pellegrini.
Yes.
Was a long time ago. I was in a group of lawyers. Jerry was in the same group. He handled all the cases. We were both affiliates. I handled everything in Suffolk, Norfolk, Middlesex. Jerry was in the Springfield. So we all got together once or twice a year, and he was a real gentleman. It was a pleasure dealing with Jerry. And is it a son? Is it still?
Indeed, so it's his son-in-law is Earl Seeley Jr., but the older Seeley. So his son-in-law joined him way back in 1957 or 58. And now there's Earl the Third, who is with our office as well. So there's one Seeley, and actually Earl Jr. Continues to be affiliated with the firm. He's not practicing, but so now it's Pellegrini, Seeley, and then Phyllis Ryan and Don Blakesley, who Don has unfortunately passed away. But he was quite a character. You might remember him. But we have Dan Blakesley. So now we've got another Blakesley in the mix. So we're doing well out there.
That's good. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you.
Thank you. Anyone else? No, thank you so much for joining us and sharing those insights. I appreciate it. And now I'll pass it to you to share with us why you're seeking reappointment and share your statement.
Great, thank you very much. Everyone I spoke with, I think I got most of the counselors. The first thing that I bring out is how much I love this job. And I really work hard at it, and I take it very seriously. And I really appreciate the governor, the lieutenant governor, Jesse and Abby at the Governor's Council office, and all of you counselors for nominating me. I sincerely appreciate it and take that very seriously. So I've tried to be fair, like Attorney Moran said, and tried to give everybody a fair shake. And part of that is, oh geez, thank my wife. I've been married for 41 years. She's just been great. Can't forget her.
She asked me to report back.
Yeah, that should have kicked me, but in any event, I do appreciate all the support, and I really do love my job. And one quick aside, I've known Judge King for years. He's very good judge. He was a good lawyer back in the day, and I had cases with him and against him. And I called him or emailed him the other day when I saw he was up first, and I said, all right, you're up first, then Omar, then me. Why don't you just cover everything? That way I won't have that much to do. Then he comes in here this morning and he pretty much covered everything. Did a great job, I thought. So I have the same thoughts. It's all about the injured worker for the most part. And one way I try to make sure I do take into consideration and show some empathy for their situation is I get prepared for everything. Every single conference, I review all the medical, I make notes, I've got it in front of me. And the employee's going to know, and the employer and the adjuster, they're going to know that I know what the facts are and I know what the issues are. And I think it really helps for the employee when you're there and you're on WebEx, so you're not face to face as much, but they see that you know the case and you know what their problems are. And I always try to work in a little bit. Oh, you're from Greenfield. Do you know so-and-so? Because I live up in Franklin County, just above Amherst. And it's a smaller area, smaller population, but I know a lot of people. I know a lot of employers. And so I always think it kind of puts them at rest if I talk to them a little bit about, I know where you're from, I know what you're doing, and then focus in on the issues of the case. So I really work hard to try and be prepared. Same thing with the hearings. As Attorney Moran pointed out, we are very fortunate. We have a fantastic workers' compensation bar that goes across the state. And I've gotten to know lawyers from every one of your districts. And we have fantastic lawyers. And they've made my job easy, but then hard, because a lot of the cases we end up seeing that go to hearing, they need to go to a hearing because they've tried to work it out. They try to work it out at every stage of the game, conciliation, conference, when the 11A report comes in. But so lots of times it just there's factual issues that need to be decided, and they do a good job. So I think we're fortunate to have a very good bar. We have fantastic management. Omar is probably the best boss I've ever had. He works very hard. I think he did a fantastic job with adapting to the COVID and post-COVID developments. It hasn't been easy for him, but he's done a really good job with it. And I think the protocols we put in place, I think they've worked to a large degree. Staff, we have fantastic staff. My legal assistants over the years, all the other people, the that work in our offices, fantastic to deal with. Worcester, I deal a lot with the Worcester folks. I actually have volunteered to go to Worcester to mediate cases that are from the Boston or Worcester area, because we were helping out to some degree with Judge Moore being out for a while. In any event, I just said, I'll meet you halfway. I'll come out there and we'll do the mediation in Worcester, and that's helped a lot too. Worcester has a great bar. Mediations have been helpful. I agree with Judge King. We're trying to shorten the time between conciliation conference. We need more doctors. There's no question about that. Judge King and Senior Judge Hernandez talked about that. They nailed the issues. We need to up the fee probably somehow. Neither side seems to want to do that yet, and money's tight, I understand. But that is something that we're dealing with because the times are a little bit too long. And as Judge King noted, a lot of these folks, they're making minimum wage and they're going paycheck to paycheck. And if all of a sudden they're not having any income coming in while the insurer investigates and the case is maybe denied and they're waiting and it's months, it's not a good situation. So we're focused on that, trying to do what we can about it. And I have to say, our conciliators, maybe you guys don't know much about what they do, but they actually do a fantastic job. They're the first stage, and they try to get the parties to come together and work it out without litigation. And I think, and Omar, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they dispose of about 50% of their cases that don't go up and into the system, which I think is remarkable. So that's very helpful as well. So I do love the job. I work hard at it. I appreciate the opportunity to hopefully get nominated and then confirmed to go forward and do it. And I'd welcome any questions anybody has.
Thank you so much. I'm going to turn it over to Counselor Civil.
Thank you. Congratulations on your reappointment. Thank you for all that you have done. And I can tell that you're very passionate about what you're doing. I know I'm going to sound like a broken record today, but Counselor Iannella, he's the go-to person to educate me on the work that you do. And he thinks highly of you. I know that you've been in front of him before, but first time in front of me. It's very important right now that we're advocating for people on all levels, especially as what's happening in our country when it comes to immigrants and fair practices when it comes to employees. I don't have any questions for you, but you are highly qualified and you've been doing this for a long time. So I look forward to supporting you today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Counselor Dolan.
Thank you so much. I really enjoyed our conversation, and I very much appreciate today that you said you always like to make a point of letting people know how much you love your job. When I looked at my notes, the very first thing I wrote was, loves job. You do. Counselor Jacobs speaks very highly of you. I don't have any questions. It's clear that you really know what you're doing, and I love hearing about the collegiality among the bar. It's really great. We need more of that in government, and I thank you for being a part of that, for promoting it.
Thank you.
Counselor Iannella.
Thank you. I don't have any questions. We had a lengthy conversation. I think you're doing a fantastic job. When your name comes before the council, it looks like today, I'll be more than happy to vote for you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Counselor. Counselor Ziegler.
Thank you, sir. Congratulations on your nomination for reappointment. And thank you for taking the time to speak with me before today. I did enjoy our conversation as well. I just have one question for you, which you somewhat answered, but what do you find the most rewarding about the work that you do? And what do you see yourself, how do you see yourself carrying that forward should you be reappointed today?
Yeah, I think it's getting the right result. And as I mentioned before, showing empathy to the parties as they go through it. It's a tough time for employers as well, but really the employees are the ones that are suffering the brunt of the problem. So I think my goal is to make a fair assessment of the evidence and make a fair finding of those facts and then apply the applicable law and hopefully get the right outcome. And I think I've done that. I think as often as I can. And as I said before, you want to try to let them know that you care about the case and get the right result. And I hope that that's the best I can really do is give a fair result to the parties involved.
Thank you. And your Counselor Jacobs is a great supporter of yours. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Counselor. Counselor Kennedy.
She said. Look, I'm not going to repeat myself. You guys are doing a great job. The senior judge is doing a great job. One thing that happens since I've had this job in the last 15 years, I don't generally hear when people are doing a great job. I do hear that about the DIA. Usually I only hear when somebody's doing a bad job, you know? We'll put this guy on for, which are both for that person's fault. I'm not hearing that. I'm hearing all good things. You know, Council Ionel is the person we all rely on workers' comp, as I told you before, and if somebody wasn't doing a good job, he'd let us know it, believe me. And your counselor, you know, she has been supportive as well. She's always working hard for Western Mass. Western Mass to me, by the way, is west of Framingham. So we're clear. Good luck, but if you leave now, by the time you get home, you'll be reappointed.
Thank you, Counselor. Counselor DePaulo.
Apropos of nothing, I look forward to bringing the council on the road to Worcester and let everyone know the difference between Central and Western Mass. Affinity for Western Mass, and Central and Western Mass nominees for sure, and Councilor Jacobs is a great advocate for your area. I will, you know, I'll just repeat myself. Everyone I talk to says we have a great system to be proud of. Councilor Ionella, my folks at Duddy Goodwin Pollard, Mike Occasion, that's who I call. Future appointments, that's who I call. So I just did all say great things.
Mike Occasion just texted me. He was coming up here and he had some car issue. So he didn't make it. And I meant to mention that. I apologize.
He's here in spirit. And yeah, so I'm not going to belabor with any questions. Thank you, Councilor.
All right, thank you. We had a great conversation. I've heard nothing but great things from my fellow council who are familiar with your work and from your senior judge. And so I don't have any questions for you today. We've sped through this speed run hearing for you, but very supportive of your coming back before us for reappointment, and we will be voting this afternoon, and I'm certain we'll give you some good news on the road. So thank you for coming out from Western Mass. Have a safe drive home. That concludes the meeting. Thank you.
We are now going to start the hearing for Judge Michael Williams. Good morning, everyone. We will be reading a letter from our governor. And it says, "Dear counselors, I am pleased to nominate Michael Williams for reappointment to the position of administrative judge at the Department of Industrial Accidents to 6-year term expiring August 8th, 2030. I submit this nomination for the advice and consent of the Executive Council pursuant to Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 23E, Section 5. Sincerely, Governor Maureen T. Healy." Since we don't have any witnesses this morning, I will give you an opportunity to speak today, Judge Williams, and the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. First of all, I'd like to thank the councilors for having me here. I'd like to thank the governor, the lieutenant governor, and all the assistants that have been very, very helpful in getting me here today, making sure that all accommodations have been taken care of. My family for supporting me, and certainly the senior judge who's always had my back. I'm in my 14th year now as a law judge, administrative law judge, and I can tell you that it's been an absolute honor and a pleasure to serve. I couldn't imagine when I started that I'd be here this long and doing it as I am now. It was a completely new venture for me, and I was embraced by this bar, embraced by the attorneys, and certainly embraced by the judges. The learning curve that I had, I thought, is been unlike any other. I know that what I received or what I was able to do has not been replicated since, and that I had the opportunity to sit and learn from all of the judges that were active on the bar at the time when I was appointed. And it was a fantastic learning opportunity. And I do believe that it shaped my career going forward. Some of the councils have been here before and have heard my story. I have learned in every single appointment from my first to now, but hopefully my third. I've gotten better as a judge. I continue to learn. I thirst for that learning. And I think it shows in my work product. I think it shows in my production on the bench. And I think it shows with the practitioners before the board. I am certainly welcome any and all questions, but I just wanted everyone to understand and know that I'm not only appreciative of the opportunity, but I'm honored to serve.
Thank you so much. And with that being said, is there any opposition? None? We will start with our Counselor Dolan with her first question.
Thank you so much. Really good to see you today. Thank you so much for your service. I did hear from Counselor Ferreira, so highly of you. Counselor Civil obviously is a big supporter of yours. I got a phone call specifically about you, telling me how good you are. So I really don't have any questions. You're very well qualified. You've got a wonderful background for the position. You obviously love it. And this is exactly what you want to be doing. So I don't have any questions.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate everything. Thank you.
Thank you. Counselor Iannella?
Thank you. No questions. He does a fantastic job. All the lawyers, you know, he can't make everybody happy. He gives everyone a fair shake. And that's all you can ever ask of anyone. It's going to be my pleasure to vote for you. I believe your name will come before the council today. Your counselor is a supporter of yours as well, Counselor Civil, and good luck for the next 6 years. Thank you.
Thank you. Counselor Kennedy?
That was a great opening statement. Somebody finally got the message about the law of brevity. I have to say, it was great, okay? We talked on the phone. We had a long conversation, talked about a lot of people we know, and you've got a lot of support from the bar. I've gotten phone calls. He's a good guy. He's a good guy. Counselor Iannella is a big supporter. We all rely on him. I'm repeating myself when it comes to comp judges. The only one in the room who does workers' compensation. I certainly don't intend to. You have a big supporter in Council Civil, and in about an hour and a half, I'm going to vote for you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Counselor Kennedy. Counselor Jacobs?
Thank you. It's nice to see you. Nice to meet you. Welcome and congratulations on your reappointment. I don't really have any more questions for you today. We've talked about some of the key issues, and I've heard nothing but good things, and that the department is running incredibly well, even with the challenges before it. So, you know, I'm happy to see you, but I have no further questions.
Thank you so much. I don't have any questions for you either, Judge Williams, but I do want people to know, besides being a judge, you also go by the name of Coach Mike. If you can, just share a little bit about what Coach Mike is all about. One thing that I love about my job is getting to know my nominees and the judges on a personal level to find out what they do besides just looking through cases. I think it's important as a leader and as a public servant that you are also giving back to your community and letting the next generation know that you are here, even though you have a prominent position that you're doing as a full-time job, but also what else that you're doing to give back to the community.
Appreciate that. I'm a lifelong resident of Brockton, Massachusetts. Brockton has shaped not just the person and the man that I am, but my mindset. I realize that Brockton has come along upon a lot of challenges, and I may not be able to change everything about everyone at all times, but I can certainly help as many as I can. I was that kid, you hear that saying, be the change that you want to see in people, and I've taken that to heart. I'm here by the grace of God. I'm here before you by the grace of God. I'm a young man that grew up in a single family household, the oldest brother taking care of my two youngest brothers, living in public housing, going to public school. Shouldn't be here, not supposed to be here, wasn't written the way it's supposed to. But I am here because people looked out for me and taken care of me and have guided me along the way. For whatever reason they saw fit, this little black boy in these all white classes and these all white schools was not forced, but put in the right direction to do what he needed to do to get where I am today. I see that as my blessing, but also as my calling, because I've been there for a long time, and there's very few men of color that stay in that community once they've made it, so-called made it, and give back in the way that I want to give back. I saw an opportunity to create a younger group of young men and young women and young people that could be the future Coach Mikes. And I've been doing it long enough. So I've been coaching for 34 years in Brockton. And the young men that I've coached when they were 10, 11, and 12 are now business owners, property owners, principals, vice principals, electricians, HVAC guys. They're professionals. Most of the fire department in Brockton are guys, young men that I coach, many of the police officers that I coach, and I watch them give back to the community. So I know that they're pouring back into the community what I've poured into them. And that was my goal when I started in 1990. I was a second-year law student. And I said, you know what? I'm not coaching just to make better football players. I'm coaching to make better men. And I've been fortunate enough to be around long enough to see that happen. And I figure that as long as I can continue to give that blessing to them, I'll still remain blessed in my life. Like, I've gotten everything that I've needed, everything that I've wanted. I'm not satisfied, but I'm content. You know what I mean? So I have the good fortune of being able to give back to them. And I think as long as I give back to them, I'll still be allowed to give back to them. So I have my health, I have my mental, I have a good job, I have people that accommodate me. And so it works out that I'm able to give back. And honestly, it balances me. It allows me to meet people that I've never would have met. It allows me to make relationships that I don't know that I get outside of the courtroom. And it keeps me balanced. So I have my work life, my professional life, but I also have that other side where I'm able to show other individuals, a lot of individuals, the opportunities that are out there outside of the world. This job allows me access to a variety of vocations that I get to see. And so when I say, you could be this, you could be this, you could be this, they have no idea. So I'm able to bring some of that knowledge from my professional world to give in a mentoring fashion to some of these young people who have no idea what life is outside of Brockton. So I really do appreciate the opportunity to give back. And they think Coach Mike is doing this great, noble thing that I'm helping, but they're helping me as much as I help them.
Thank you so much. We spent an hour speaking about your profession and how you got into this field. Besides pulling the ears of Counselor Ianella and Counselor Kennedy, which you've came before, this is the first time coming in front of me. And throughout all our conversation, that is what got my attention, the amount of work that you do in the community. For the young people, to let them know that if you could be where you are, they definitely have that opportunity as well. We also have a Counselor Ziegler here with us, and we're going to ask her if she has any questions for you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's great to see you in person.
Nice to see you.
Thank you for taking the time to speak with me today. We had a lovely conversation, sort of just talking about your body of work. You're not new to this, which is great. It's clear that you have the passion for it. A question that I like to ask is, moving forward, what changes would you like to see made to the
So as I stated, the bar is fantastic. How we work, I'm not in a position from above thing to dictate what we could do. But the one thing that I do know that is impacting us all judges, and you may or may not have already heard this, is that our livelihood depends on the impartial system. And we are suffering in the impartial system right now, and that we're losing doctors, which eventually is going to catch up and make our job particularly difficult, in that we have both sides submit documentation to us, medical documentation, that we're supposed to discern which one is better versus the other. The way that our system and the law is set up is we have a third doctor, the 11A impartial, that decides that for us. We are losing that person's, they're retiring, they're not doing the work, and that's causing a strain on us, because we don't have optometrists, we don't have dentists. But more importantly, we're talking just from a location standpoint. I'm in Fall River, and we get people from Hyannis or the Cape all the way down, and we may not have a doctor that's available all the way until Boston. So that person who may be injured, an injured worker, and we're talking about protecting the public, that injured worker is going to have to travel all the way from the Cape potentially to Boston for a medical appointment, and they may be impaired or somehow hurt and injured and not be able to sustain that ride of 2 hours, whether they're provided transportation or not. So it's important, I think, that that's the number one thing that I see from just a practical standpoint that needs to be addressed, is getting that impartial list more robust. And I suspect that means more money for the doctors, but we need to re-up that impartial list so that we can continue to do the work and actually help the people in a more effective manner. And also, because we have so few, we're scheduling them out further, which delays the process for getting the cases resolved.
We talked about that, delays are something that it's a common criticism that we hear among the court system. And so, the lack of impartial doctors is something that has come up as a recurring this morning. So I hear that, and I feel that means that it needs to be a budget priority. The powers that be for the next fiscal year. Thank you for your answer. Thank you again for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor Ziegert. Counselor DePaulo.
Thank you, Counselor. Good morning. Congratulations on your reappointment.
Thank you.
I'm sorry I was out of the room tending to some business at the beginning of your hearing, but as I've said earlier this morning, the folks I talked to in the bar are very pleased with our system and the fact that you're attentive and accessible, and that the zeitgeist and the philosophy continues to be what statutorily it should be, is to take care of our injured workers and make sure they're treated with dignity and fairly and in a timely manner. So I have no questions. Councilor Iannella, my people at Duddy Goodwin Pollard, Michael Occasion, these are the people I talk to. They all have very positive things to say. So I look forward to supporting my appointments.
Can I say one other?
Sure.
I mentioned Mike Occasion earlier, he was gonna come here to support you, he mentioned you as well. But he had some car problems. He just texted me, he joined us on YouTube and he's watching. He was concerned though, he texted me also that his car's out of warranty and it's gonna cost a few bucks. We might have to take up a collection for him later. I'm just saying, we know he's a tough Occasion and Landman. They're not making any money.
And I forgot to mention that your counselor, Counselor Civil, is a big supporter of yours. And so that goes a long way with me as well.
Thank you very much.
And Counselor Ferreira.
Thank you. So we go way back. When I was a police chief, he was on the other side of things representing the cops as a labor lawyer. Always fair, always did a great job, always respectful, making sure that the police had good wages and working conditions. And I made sure that I was still the boss at the end of the day. I was safe. So Well, I earned my respect then, and you retained my respect, and we had a nice chat, and definitely voting for you today.
Appreciate that, Council. Thank you.
We are looking to support you today on your appointment. This hearing is now adjourned.
Yeah.
I'm gonna read a letter from the governor. Dated January 7th, 2026, to the Executive Council. Dear councils, I am pleased to nominate Maureen Caunihan to the position of Administrative Judge at the Department of Industrial Accidents for a term of 6 years. That'll go by fast. I submit this nomination for the advice and consent of the Executive Council pursuant to Mass General Chapter 23, Section 5. Do you have a copy of this?
I do not have a
You
copy.
do now. You frame it. All right. So you have witnesses, so we'll call the senior judge first for the few words he wants to say. Thank you, Judge Hernandez. We appreciate your testimony.
Thank you.
No, you can sit down. Go ahead.
We've needed a judge at the DI for a long time. And I'm absolutely thrilled beyond attorney can join us. I've interviewed with her. She appeared before me on cases. It's just such a perfect blend of everything she is in her work. And I am truly excited. Hopefully she's confirmed today. Because I have a lot of work for her, so. Besides, so I welcome your support. and your vote for Attorney Caunihan. Have any questions, be happy to answer.
I'm not gonna do questions.
Okay, all right, I'm glad.
Attorney, and I'm gonna butcher this. Sharon phone Nocam,
Yes, that is
I
correct.
do okay?
Very good.
It's the best I could do.
Good morning, the council. My name is Jalanpan Nakam, so very good. It is a privilege and honor to speak in support of Maureen Caunihan's nomination for an administrative judge, law judge position. Industrial accidents. I've known Maureen for 12 years. For the past 2 years, we were office mates. Maureen embodies traits that I have long admired in judges for whom I have appeared in my years of practice: temperament, empathy, and fair-mindedness. These traits are only matched by Maureen's good nature and sense of humor. Aside from her professional and intellectual acumen, I admire Maureen deeply for her dedication to her family. I'm always in awe at how she seamlessly and ably fulfills her work obligations and tends to her family so wholeheartedly. Of course, it's not all work and family. Selfishly, I hope we will continue our regular talks about books and our search for activities so we can develop new skills. I am feeling wistful as I speak before you all today, as we were no longer in the same office and have those regular conversations. But knowing that she will be moving on to a position for which she has expressed so much excitement makes it sting just a little less. Maureen will be a wonderful addition to the DIA bench. Happily, I support her nomination. Thank you for the opportunity to speak.
Thank you very much. Does anybody have any questions? Thank you very much.
Nice and brief, thank you.
Okay, who did you bring with you? Who did you
I
bring here?
Here today, I have my husband, Stephen, and my son, Adam.
Okay,
My husband is a semi-retired tennis professional and coach. And my son, Adam, is a cybersecurity engineer. My other son, Austin, is currently finishing up his master's program in global communication in Paris. But he did call me on the way here to wish me luck.
good. A semi-retired tennis coach. I thought being a tennis coach was being retired.
He actually works really hard.
Okay, what do you have to tell us?
Morning, counselors. First, I would like to take this opportunity to thank Governor Healy and Lieutenant Governor Driscoll for my nomination. I would also like to thank Sonia Altamirano and her team for helping us through this process. And of course, I would like to thank each of the council members for being here today to consider my application, for taking the time to meet with me or speak with me prior to this in the last couple of weeks. Obviously, I'd like to thank my witnesses, the Honorable Omar Hernandez, and I'm going to just call her Pon Knockham because that's what I call her. I appreciate them coming here to speak on my behalf. And obviously, I just introduced my husband and my son. I would not be here today without their encouragement, and I truly thank them for their support. I am truly honored to be here. I know that you have been provided with a great deal of information about my professional background. I just wanted to give you a little bit of the background of what brought me here today. And I promise I will be brief, even though I'm going to start with when I was 3 years old. I grew up in Fairport, New York, outside of Rochester. When I was 3 years old, I had a sister that was 4 and a brother that was 2, and my mother came home with twins. And so we had 5 kids under 4. She was 25 years old. It was impossible for her to take care of all of us at the same time. So, especially when my father was working. And so, my sister and I would go across the street to Janie Zielinski's house. She was a high school student. She would watch us in the afternoons, and we could be as loud as we wanted when we were there, but we had to be quiet when father came home, and he was a lawyer. And even though I was only 3 years old and I had no idea what a lawyer did, I understood at some level that people respected lawyers. When I was in 2nd grade, the teacher asked us what we wanted to be when we grew up, and I wrote lawyer. I still had no idea what a lawyer did. I got information from college, from my memories of Mr. Zielinski and watching Perry Mason. I didn't have any lawyers in my family. We didn't know And really nobody took me seriously, which is kind of what motivated me to really dig in and be determined to pursue that goal. My interest became more focused when I was in a serious accident when I was 16. It was the first day of my junior year in high school, and I was fooling around with some kids, and I hopped on the hood of a car, and I fell off, and the car ran over me. I was dragged 18 feet under the car and nearly died. I spent a month in the hospital, missed the entire first half of my junior year. And I understood then that serious injuries change your life. And that's when I decided that I wanted to go into this area of practice. I wanted to be able to help people that were going through similar experience. Now, while my commitment to attending law school was solidified, my parents were not in a position to help me out financially. If I wanted to go to college and law school, I was going to have to pay for it myself. I did so, taking out student loans and working multiple jobs in college and law school. And I can proudly say that I made my last student loan payment when I was 37 years old. But I did it. Anyways, when I got to Boston to start law school, I immediately got 2 jobs waitressing. I waitressed at Caunihan's in Faneuil Hall for lunches, and Raymond's 1280 corner for dinners. And during my first year of law school, I started working for Attorney Martin. I stayed there for my whole time at law school, and I became an associate there when I graduated law school. At his office, I handled hundreds of cases, workers' comp and personal injury. I stayed there for 7 years, and then I moved to Green and Hoffman, which was more of a boutique practice. I stayed there for 11 years. I continued to handle workers' compensation cases and personal injury cases. Green and Hoffman had a different type of a business model. The clients, we had our own clients, and when the clients would call, they would deal directly with the attorneys. They didn't speak to a paralegal or an admin assistant. Every call came directly to me on my cases, and that gave me a much deeper understanding of the issues facing injured workers. I continued that business model when I started my own practice 21 years ago. I enjoy a rather practice. I don't do any advertising. I rely entirely on referrals. I have worked hard and developed a reputation for being a skilled advocate. I have tried cases in state and federal court, cases in the appeals court. I have successfully handled cases, specifically workers' comp, involving multiple employers and insurers, and difficult causation issues such as occupational exposure. I enjoy doing legal research, and I consider it to be an integral part of my practice. I have never shied away from a challenging case. As a result, several attorneys, including my former bosses, Tom Green and Tom Hoffman, refer clients to me. Insurance adjusters and doctors have also referred me. In January 2024, I started teaching a course at Suffolk Law School called Interviewing and Counseling. Teach the students that in my practice, the clients that I meet have either been seriously injured or someone they love has been killed. They did not choose for this to happen. Their life has been tipped upside down. It is important to listen to them carefully and listen to them with compassion and respect. If confirmed, I would bring those qualities to the court. In any dispute, both sides are entitled to a fair and impartial hearing and given the opportunity to present their respective cases. I would do my best to make sure that both parties felt heard in any proceeding in front of me. I made the decision to submit my application to become an administrative judge at the DIA. Career where the time is right. Children are grown. and I'm ready for a new challenge. I recognize that I'm stepping into a new role, neutral arbiter, and I take that very seriously. As I've been going through this process for the past 6 months or so, I gave some serious thought to what would make me a good administrative judge. And I fully understand that the purpose of both the workers' comp statute and the DIA is dispute resolution. I completed a 32-hour mediation training program so that hopefully I can assist attorneys in getting their cases resolved. Obviously, that has the added benefit of reducing judges' caseloads. I certainly understand the backlog facing the parties at the DIA, and I would welcome the opportunity to do my part to move cases along to resolution. It's an honor to have been nominated as an administrative judge in industrial accidents, and it would be a privilege to serve. Thank you, and I can answer any questions that you might have.
Thank you very much. Counselor DePaul.
Thank you, Counselor. Congratulations on your appointment. As I've already said this morning, I think we have a system to be proud of in Massachusetts. I love that you are bringing empathy, not just for the fact that the folks appearing are injured and dealing with that, but also the timeline and thinking of the logistics as well, and being someone who's interested in medical research obviously helps as well. As I've also said this morning, I turn to Counselor Ayala, I turn to the folks at my firm, Duddy Goodwin Pollard. On occasion, these are the practitioners I talk to around this area. The ones who know you have very good things, positive things to say about you that you'll do in addition. So I intend to support you. I have no questions. Thank you, Counselor.
Thank you.
Counselor Jacobs.
Are you sure? It's nice to see you face to face. I really appreciated the conversation we had the other day, where, you know, we really had some good some topics, and I learned a lot, but also got to know you a little bit, but it's nice to meet you in person. I don't have a ton of questions. We've had a really great day hearing about the department and all that it does and how that it does it. But I do want to give you the opportunity to just elaborate on now and of this work in the administrative judge role, what, you know, given you haven't done it yet, but you're looking forward to it, what areas would you say have the most meaning for you personally in terms of being rewarding? And as a secondary, the challenges that you, as a practitioner, already perceive that you think should be highlighted?
So first, part of that, what I think is good about the system. The DIA has a system where the conferences are, you know, that's where the attorneys argue the cases, and then one or both parties appeal them, and then it goes to a hearing, which is more of like a trial. And the same judge does the conference and the hearing. So I think that's a really good way for the judges to hear the case and decide the case based on the arguments and the evidence that's, you know, submitted, but then also have that same judge have the ability to hear evidence and testimony at the hearing level. So I do like that part, and I would look forward to that. As far as what I think, what did you say, what would be challenges?
Yeah.
You know, I think the challenges are faced by, you know, it's systemic. I think that we're having a hard time getting impartial physicians. And so I think that's becoming a little bit more challenging. You're seeing the same impartials over and over and over again. Obviously, that's way above the judge's pay grade. Also, you know, moving the cases through, you know, obviously there's a backlog. It's taking up to 8 months to get from conciliation to conference, and that's a horrible burden. Other than that, like I really think, you know, they've made some, under Judge Hernandez, they've made some really good changes in the way that the system operates, and I think that it's really helped the judges do their job.
I appreciate that. I have no further questions. Thank you.
Counselor Ferrara.
I don't have any questions. We spoke. I don't do any comp work, but half the lawyers at my law firm at Ketchum Law Group does a lot of comp, and I have admiration for you, as Counselor Ayala and Kennedy to my left. So somebody to do once in a while.
Thank you. Council Civil.
Thank you. Congratulations on your nomination. We had a wonderful conversation and you were very consistent based on what you said this morning. You have a compelling story, so there is no doubt in my mind that you will be great at what you do, especially when you're listening to employees who've gone through similar, but if not worse than you. I was able to take a course of DIA 101 with Counselor Ianella. He's been able to educate me throughout this whole week when it comes to what you all are going to be doing, because we have like 6 hearings today and you're the fifth one. And Counselor Kennedy has talked about you and respects you as well and is in support of you. I don't have any questions, but you know, I commend all the work that you have done and the efforts that you put in to make sure that people are being represented fairly. So, you know, congratulations again on your nomination, and I look forward to supporting you.
Thank you.
So don't.
Thank you very much. I don't have any questions either. Well, for one thing, you've got Omar Hernandez testifying for you and saying that he can really use you. That's really all anybody needs to know. But Counselor Kennedy made a point of letting me know how highly he thinks of you. You obviously have great experience, and I just want to point out, as we discussed, you went to a terrific state school, SUNY Albany.
I did.
Got a liberal arts degree. You're all right in my book. Very good.
Finally, the person we all rely on workers' compensation.
No, I don't have any questions.
Diana.
A lot of lawyers who think the world of you. I actually got a call yesterday from Gary Malacchio. He was in Vietnam. He goes, it's 5 a.m, but I wanted to make sure I got you. Okay, and he's in your corner big time. You know, from your resume, your work history, your educational background, I'm sure you're gonna be a great addition to the guy.
Thank you.
Council Ziegler.
Thank you. Congratulations on your nomination. Thank you for taking the time to speak with me as well. I did enjoy our conversation. I just have one question for you, and someone answered it already, but I wanted to just give you the opportunity to speak a little bit. What would you say is the strongest skill that you would bring to this role?
That's a good question. I think that it is organization and also the ability to read the medical records and understand the medical records. And also obviously my familiarity with the process. I guess that's 3 skills. I'm sorry.
That is perfectly fine. I appreciate that, and you bring so much more to the table too. So thank you again.
All I hear over and over from everybody, oh, Maureen, she's great. Adam Knight, all kinds of people. Mike Occasional, Maureen, she's great. Sean Flaherty, oh, Maureen, she's great. I just don't know if I should ask your husband the question. We're gonna vote on you in about an hour.
Thank you very
I
much.
think you know how to count, so I think you're okay.
Thank you.
We're going to call this hearing to order. The date is Wednesday, the 21st. I'll read into the record the nomination letter. Dear counselors, I'm pleased to nominate Douglas A. Bean for reappointment to the position of Administrative Judge at the Department of Industrial Accidents to a 6-year term expiring May 26, 2029. I submit this nomination for the advice and consent of the Executive Council pursuant the Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 23E, Section 5. I am enclosing the nominee's resume for your convenience. Signed sincerely, Maura T. Healy. At this time, Judge Bean, I'll recognize you. Can you please tell us who you have brought with you today?
I've got my wife Debbie and a couple of friends. This is Mike Splain and Ralph Swift.
Okay. I'll start by inviting Mr. Swift up as your first witness to provide testimony.
Girls, how are you? It's all reading fights.
I'm the witness. I don't know what else I can say about that except for positive things. Though Doug, 30+ years. He worked on my campaign for school. I've been on baseball trips, personal things with him. He's very trustworthy. He does a good job. He understands the law. We've had many conversations with him, and all I have is positive words to say about Judge Bean. Thank you for the opportunity to speak.
Thank you, Mr. Swift. At this time, I'll just introduce the counselors that we have with us. Counselor Ferreira is with us, Counselor Civil, Counselor Dolan, our Dean, Counselor Ianella, Counselor Kennedy, Counselor DiPaolo, and Counselor Jacobs. Were there any questions for Mr. Swift as he's running away? I do also have Mr. Splain. You're welcome to come up and provide testimony.
The members of the council, my name is Michael Spillane, and I've known Doug throughout my professional career. I've been practicing law for 46 years now. I've also known him personally. I knew him when he was a selectman in the town that we both live in. We get together, our families. He's very friendly, nice, honest man. Again, like Ralph said, there's only good things to say about him. I know he donates his time with the church. I know he goes on missions to help the poor and rebuilding, on programs in town. So he's been doing that for years. We run together. We call it that. We're getting older, but we do run together. We discuss politics and different things. We enjoy each other's company. I would highly recommend him for this job and ask that he be reappointed. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Splain? Seeing none, I'll ask if there's anyone here to speak in opposition. There being none, Judge Bean, I'll open the floor to you for your statement.
Thank you for meeting with me. I've been a judge here at the Department of Industrial Accidents for 33 years. I really enjoyed it. Good group of people to work with. The bar is small and collegial, but competent. Makes my job a lot easier. I think you had one of my one woman who appears in front of me quite often was just here. Nothing but good things to say about Attorney Caunihan. I like this job. I'd like to keep it. I think I do a good job, and if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Thank you. I did want to note that Senior Judge Omar Hernandez is also in the room in support of you as well. So at this time, I'll open the floor to Counselor Kennedy. If you have any questions.
I don't fall for it. He'll kill me. I don't have a choice. We all rely on him. I'm repeating myself all day. He's the comp guy in the room. We go by what his recommendations are because he knows it. He's the one who's in there. He knows who the good guys are, who aren't, and he definitely thinks you're a good guy. There's no question about it. You've been doing a great job. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Counselor DePaolo.
Thank you, Counselor. Congrats on your reappointment. I'm left-handed. You used to be left or you used to write with your left hand. You can no longer write with your left hand. Is that?
Well, actually, I write with them both now.
That's
For
amazing.
many years, I would write right, but sign left.
Yeah, okay.
And lately, my right hand has gone crazy, so I'm kind of back to the left.
Okay. I was wondering how your handwriting was, but as a left-hander. Right on. My grandfather was also left-handed, but at school, the nuns he used to tell me he'd get his wrist hit with the ruler with his right hand, and man, his handwriting was horrible.
Yeah.
But
My family has,
he's a lefty.
my family has a history of incredibly difficult things that are of no use. My grandmother could write with her left hand and with her right hand at the same time, two different things. And with one hand, she'd write in mirror script. Never.
I'm sold. I'm sold. And for the record, I'm gonna repeat myself this morning. I'm proud of the system the Commonwealth has. The folks I talked to at my firm, Duddy Goodwin Pollard, Counselor Ian, on occasion, those are the folks I talked to with DIA employees. Everyone has positive things to say, that workers get a fair shake and they're feeling like they've been treated with respect, and that to the extent you can, you're able to keep the timeline moving, which is always a challenge, right? So I have no questions. Congrats on your reappointment. Thank you for the work.
Counselor Jacobs.
Thank you. Hi, congratulations on your reappointment, and it's nice to see you in person. I am impressed by since 1992. You've been on the board and as an administrative judge, and that's quite a career. And I'm just curious, how do you continue to be interested and engaged in continuing to do that work? What continues to make it meaningful to you?
Well, I mean, interesting people. I like to think I'm helping out. You know, I got into to the law to help people. I was a criminal defense lawyer before I got this job, and I just enjoyed the work. I enjoyed it in 92, and by 94, I think I had a handle on it. And you know, back in the early days, you had the 91 reforms. It took us 20 years to figure out exactly what it meant. Now it's a little easier, but I work with a great group of people. Almost without exception, the attorneys are great. You know what they're doing and they're personable. They don't waste our time to get things done. So I suppose at some point I'm gonna retire. I just don't want to yet.
Can I add something to that?
Go ahead.
I just want to say, if you look at his record, he has more than a year's worth of sick time. He will not call in sick. He says these people have been waiting however many days to be heard by me, and I'm not gonna let a cold make it so that they get past. He really cares.
I appreciate that so much. Thank you. I have no further questions for you. Just a comment. I was just looking at your resume and noticed you went to St. John's Prep, and my husband is a graduate of there as well. A few years behind you, but just wanted.
And I think it was great to be back. Well, I live about half a mile from there.
Well, thank you. I'm good. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, thank you for your service. Sounds like you've been before the council like 5 times at least.
7.
7 times. So you're gonna be pretty good at this point. I listen to the people at Catches that I work with. I listen to Councilor Ionella, and I listen to Terry Kennedy and other people that know people in the law. And you have a great reputation. But beyond that, what you do outside of the job is pretty astounding as well, giving back to the community as a selectman and going on these voyages to help people that are unfortunate. So good for you, and good for you that you still want to work when you don't have to anymore. That says a lot, that you don't have to do the job. You're not doing it for the money. You're doing it for the love of the job to help people, and I appreciate that.
Counselor Sibyl.
Thank you. Congratulations on your reappointment. I think your said something that I'd love to hear that you won't call in sick. Not too many people will do that, but it shows dedication, time. And you've been in this position since 1992. So that speaks volumes. I'm taking a crash course, DIA 101, thanks to the help of Counselor Ianella, Counselor Kennedy, but your Counselor Ziegler, she was a big supporter of yours. I don't have any questions for you. Like you said, you've been here 7 times. So obviously you're doing something good if you keep getting reapproved. So again, congratulations on you. No questions.
Thank you, Counselor Dolan.
I don't have much to add. I mean, you've got Counselor Ianella speaking highly of you, Counselor Ziegler, Omar Hernandez, you're ambidextrous. You have phenomenal experience, and I really value that. It means you've got institutional knowledge, a lot of life experience, and I know that brings a tremendous amount to what you do. And I just want to point out that you also went to an excellent state school, UMass Amherst, and got a liberal arts degree. That's good enough for me.
I love UMass, which their football was a little better.
It can all be you need.
And so I'll close it out by saying we had a lovely conversation. We had several, actually. Dean, Counselor Ianella, apologies.
I want to hear from him again.
Dean, please.
Judge, it's been the last one before us today, it was 6th nominee before the council. You've been on the board, I don't know, 30+ years, good to see Omar today, done a phenomenal job. When you talk to people, what's Judge Dean like, and he's a decent guy, I like him, but I just want to read a few sentences, because this is what Judge Dean is all about. And this is from his resume. He says, this is Judge, I have led 16 reconstruction mission trips since 2006, including 6 to New Orleans to help repair homes destroyed by Hurricane Katrina. 3 to the eastern shore of Maryland for Hurricane Sandy relief, and missions to Nicaragua, West Virginia, North Carolina, and Maine. I hurt my left hand and can no longer write with it. Taught myself to write right-handed. That's what Doug Dean is all about. What a special person. I've been here a few years. Not many people can say what you've done. I am really proud of what you've done. I think you've done an exceptional job at the board, and it is my pleasure to cast my vote for you this afternoon. Best of luck. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
So it's clear that there's some support here. It was absolutely great to meet with you in person, and we had several conversations since in preparation for today. I admire the experience that you bring to the table, and when you say that you love the work that you do, you truly do love the work that you do. The fact that your wife even wanted to highlight your dedication to be there day in, day out, 24/7 is key, because she didn't have to do that. So that speaks volumes to me as well. Our main goal here as a council is to vet candidates and to ensure that they are qualified and ensure that they'll be dedicated to the work, so that the people that come before them can feel that true justice is being served. I think that you bring those qualities to the table: the dedication, the commitment, the experience. So I'm happy to support you. I urge my colleagues to support you as well, as we intend to vote this afternoon. So by 12:30 today, you will know whether you'll have another 6 years in this role. So thank you for putting your hat in the ring for reappointment. And with that said, I'll close this hearing.
Our meeting to order. I'd like to recognize Counselor Ziegler for a moment of reflection and prayer and to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
We gather here today in light of all that is happening in our country. There are people within our country, within the state, that are operating in fear, that look to bodies of legislation such as ours to ensure that justice is served. We gather to be in community with them, and we hope that the work that we do here today will serve as a reminder that our justice system is here, our justice system is just, and that we are committed to this work. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, a nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, how's everyone doing today? I'll keep us going through our agenda, and I'd like to recognize Counselor Ianella for a motion for advice and consent for the financial warrant.
So moved.
Motion's been made by Counselor Ianella. Is there a second? Seconded by Counselor Ziegler. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Next up, I'd like to recognize Counselor Kennedy for a motion to record advice and consent for the pending list of notaries public and justices of the peace.
So move, Governor.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded by Counselor DiPaolo. All those in favor? You opposed? The ayes have it. I'd like to recognize Counselor Jacobs for a motion to record advice and consent for the appointment of William Larkin to the position of Clerk Magistrate of the Franklin, Hampshire Juvenile Court.
Very happy to make that motion.
Motion's been made. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Counselor Civil. Any further comments or questions? Seeing none, I would ask Sonia to help us by please calling the roll.
Counselor Jacobs? Yes. Counselor Ferrera?
Yes.
Counselor Civil? Yes. Counselor Dolan?
Yes.
Counselor Ayala?
Yes.
Counselor Sigler?
Yes.
Counselor Kennedy?
Yes.
Counselor DePaul?
Yes.
8 members voting, 8 in the affirmative, the matter carries. I'd now like to recognize Counselor Jacobs again for a motion to record advice and consent for the appointment of Scott Rathbun to the position of Clerk Magistrate in the Eastern Hampshire District Court.
I'm happy to make that motion as well.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Counselor Ziegler. Any further comments or questions? Seeing none, I'd ask Sonia to please help us by calling the roll.
Counselor Jacobs? Yes. Counselor Ferrera?
Yes.
Counselor Civil?
Yes.
Counselor Dolan?
Yes.
Counselor Ayala?
Yes.
Counselor Sigler?
Yes.
Counselor Kennedy?
Yes.
Counselor DePaul?
Yes.
8 members voting, 8 in the affirmative, the matter carries. I'd like to recognize Counselor Ianella for a motion to record advice and consent for the reappointment of Matthew King as an administrative judge at the Department of Industrial Accidents.
So moved.
Motion made by Counselor Ianella. Is there a second? Seconded by Counselor Kennedy. Any further conversations or questions? Seeing none, I would ask Sonia to please call the roll.
Counselor Ayala?
Yes.
Counselor Sigler?
Yes.
Counselor Kennedy?
Yes.
Counselor DePaul?
Yes.
Counselor Jacobs? Yes. Counselor Ferrera?
Yes.
Counselor Civil? Yes. Counselor Dolan?
Yes.
8 members voting, 8 in the affirmative, the matter carries. Counselor Dolan, I'd like to recognize you for a motion to record advice and consent for the reappointment of Omar Hernandez as Administrative Senior Judge at the Department of Industrial Accidents.
Moved with tremendous enthusiasm.
Okay. Is there a second? Seconded by Counselor Jacobs. Any further comments or questions? Seeing none. Sonia, could you please help us by calling the roll?
Counselor Dolan?
Yes.
Counselor Ayala?
Yes.
Counselor Sigler?
Yes.
Counselor Kennedy?
Yes.
Counselor DePaul?
Yes.
Counselor Jacobs?
Yes.
Counselor Ferrera?
Yes.
Counselor Civil?
Yes.
8 members voting, 8 in the affirmative, the matter carries. Counselor Jacobs, I'd like to recognize you for a motion to record advice and consent for the reappointment of Thomas Daniels as an administrative judge in the Department of Industrial Accidents.
So moved.
Motion's been made and seconded by Counselor Ziegler. Seeing no further comments or questions, I would ask Sonia to please call the roll.
Counselor Jacobs?
Yes.
Counselor Ferrera?
Yes.
Counselor Civil?
Yes.
Counselor Dolan?
Yes.
Counselor Ayala?
Yes.
Counselor Sigler?
Yes.
Counselor Kennedy?
Yes.
Counselor DePaul?
Yes.
8 members voting, 8 in the affirmative, the matter carries. Counselor Civil, I'd like to recognize you for a motion to record advice and consent for the reappointment of Michael Williams as an administrative judge at the Department of Industrial Accidents.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made by Counselor Civil, seconded by Counselor Ionella. Seeing no further comments or questions, Sonia, can you please call the roll?
Yes, Counselor Civil,
Yes.
Counselor Dolan,
Yes.
Counselor Hernandez,
Yes.
Counselor Sigler,
Yes.
Counselor Kennedy,
Yes.
Counselor DePaulo,
Yes.
Counselor Jacobs,
Yes.
Counselor Ferrera.
Yes.
8 members voting, 8 in the affirmative, the matter carries. Counselor Kennedy, I'd like to recognize you for a motion to record advice and consent for the appointment of Maureen Caunihan as an administrative judge in the Department of Industrial.
So moved.
Assistance. Motion's been made by Counselor Kennedy, seconded by Counselor Ionella. Any further comments or questions? Seeing none. Sonia, can you please call the roll?
Counselor Kennedy,
Yes.
Counselor DePaulo,
Yes.
Counselor Jacobs,
Yes.
Counselor Ferrera,
Yes.
Counselor Civil,
Yes.
Counselor Dolan,
Yes.
Counselor Hernandez,
Yes.
Counselor Sigler.
Yes.
It's getting boring.
8 members voting, 8 in the affirmative. The matter carries. You guys just do such great work. So make it an easy. Counselor Ziegler, I'd like to recognize you for a motion to record advice and consent for the reappointment of Douglas Bean as an administrative justice at the Department of Industrial Accidents.
I make the motion to reappoint and I add that he has tremendous experience and I encourage my fellow counselors to support his reappointment.
Excellent. Seconded by Counselor Ionella. Seeing no further comments or questions, I'd ask Sonia to help us by please calling the roll.
Counselor Sigler,
Yes.
Counselor Kennedy,
Yes.
Counselor DePaulo,
Yes.
Counselor Jacobs,
Yes.
Counselor Ferrera,
Yes.
Counselor Civil,
Yes.
Counselor Dolan,
Yes.
Counselor Hernandez.
Yes.
8 members voting, 8 in the affirmative, the matter carries. We're gonna mix it up a little because we've got 2 new nominations. Craig Mulcahy to the position of Associate Justice in District Court. Counselor Dolan, I think that's in your district. Do you have a date for that hearing by any chance?
January 28th at 10.
January 28th at 10 a.m. And we also have Lakeisha Parker Small to the position of Associate Justice of Juvenile Court. Counselor Ferrera, that's your district. Do you have a date and time yet?
Oh, I'm confused. I'm not used to getting nominations. No. I'll have to.
Clean out the mothballs on your calendar.
I gotta pull up my notebook.
You know,
I'll get back to you. Thank you.
so to be continued. To be determined. I heard what you said. I got it. I don't think we have any further business, so I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion made by Counselor Ziegler, seconded by Counselor Civil. All those in favor? Opposed? The ayes have it. We stand adjourned.
Sonia, here.